Dolly Polly dreams have flown. Don't you dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He'll come, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe.
Hello everyone! Hi, welcome to our 5th episode of The Witcher, our campaign called Legacy. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I'll be jamming tonight's game. I think I might have a little problem with the sound, but that should be alright. If you can hear me fine, just let me know. We shouldn't be muted. Before we begin today, I would just like to remind everyone that we are still raising money for the Bail Fund project. If you would like to donate to help the show in any way, I would rather you type in !donate to get the link. Any donation that you make to the Bail Fund project will go towards helping or hindering our players, just as if you had given to help support the show. If you still want to support the show, I am not stopping you. I am just asking you that if you would rather donate to the Bail Fund project. Before we go around the table and introduce our cast, I would just like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight, Artalsorian Games. I would like to thank also Roll20, the virtual tabletop that we use to play this game. The virtual tabletop actually that we've been using for all of our games here on Wandering DM. You can check them out at roll20.net. Our other sponsors tonight are, of course, Magen Press, makers of 5th edition D&D supplements. Check them out. They have a few interesting things coming out soon, so be sure to stay on the lookout for their new products coming out. And if you use code WanderingDM on their website, on their store, you can get 15% off all of your purchases. And lastly, our last sponsor for tonight is, of course, Found Familiar, the coffee company. Check them out, foundfamiliar.com. Use code WanderingDM if you want to order some very, very good coffee. We also have a partner. Oof, I almost forgot, Level Up Dice. You can check them out with either the Torch or... I'm not used to having to type all of my commands. Or the link in chat. That said, we are missing temporarily a 4th player tonight. Gabe is on his way. He'll be with us shortly. He's just finishing another campaign, and then will join us. But to begin our episode tonight, let's go around the table. Could you introduce yourselves? Tell us who you are and who you are playing. And we'll go from the top to the bottom of the overlay. So we'll start with Kayla, then Kelly, and then Kika.
Guys, I'm Kayla RPG, and I'm going to be playing Lady Shenna tonight, the mercenary human captain.
Hi, I'm Kelly, the Albergeek, and I will be back playing Sisha of Gwen Creasa, the Griffin School Witcher.
And I am Kika. I am tonight playing Van Hemling, the elf mage, who is absurdly honest and has no secrets whatsoever.
And I forgot to add that if you want to support the show, if you check out the panels below, by the way, you have one where for a sub or 1,000 bits or $10, you can draw from our Gwent card for performances thing issues. Yeah. I had to remove the deck from the overlay, but the cards are still active and we're gonna still shout them out whenever someone draws from the deck. Just so you know, everyone, Saskia is still out, Ithilin is, well, a third of Ithilin is out, and the Plague card is out. What does that mean? It means that everyone has 5 less max hit points, but also everyone, or she, deals 2 more points of damage with attacks or spells. And also a third of the end of the world. But that, we'll see what happens with that. That said, would someone like to recap what happened 2 weeks ago? After you saw the armies of Nilfgaard portal all around the town of Maribor.
We made friends with a griffin.
You did. You managed to meet, maybe not befriend, but at least calm and approach a tamed griffin by a halfling griffin tamer who proclaimed themselves a griffin tamer.
I'm of the opinion that at least one of us became best friends with that griffin.
You would have to ask them if it's reciprocal. Is that the word?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal. Hey, let's start by mispronouncing stuff tonight. But yes, while a part of the group was sneaking away from Maribor around the city, Shayna, you went into town.
Yeah, mostly because I didn't think my band of mercs could sneakily go with the rest of the group. So Shinna used her social position to get in with the intention of just passing through. But she found out that Lieutenant was going to murder folks that had stood up to them. And so she rolled really well and was able to intimidate the lieutenant into giving her the prisoners, which she then let go with supplies and stuff once they got far away enough from town. And one of the prisoners was apparently the owner of the griffin, small halfling. So that was good.
And then
Apologies if the music's too loud.
and then we did manage to go to Vizima finally, and Sisha got us an interview with one Triss Marigold, which was mostly me just wanting to make Simon play Triss in a scene with me. And the service we provided was high enough that Triss decided to help us complete our journey and portal us directly to Novigrad.
A safe distance outside of Novigrad, I should add.
Yeah, you said it was between Novigrad and Oxenford.
Oxenford, yeah. You're basically a half-hour walk away from Novigrad. You can see the spires of the walls of the city in the distance. The roofs of... Is the music too loud?
I don't know, I got kicked out of Roll20.
Oh. But if it is, for any of the players, let me know. And same thing for chat. If the music is ever too loud, just let me know. But yeah, you can see in the distance the roofs of the many buildings of the free city of Novigrad. Smoke coming out of the chimneys. You can hear the hub of town, even at this distance, even a half hour away. There's an echo of just life There are no traces of the Nilfgaardian army this side of the Pontar. Things are calm. Behind you is the small university town of Oxenfurt. Well, small. Relative to Novigrad's size. The sun is... You got to Vizima, I think it was around half...
It was evening.
Evening,
It was
okay.
evening.
I was gonna say halfway through the day, but... yeah. So, the sun is setting slowly on the horizon. By the time you reach Novigrad, you'll probably be let in, mostly as the last people that are gonna come in today. What do you all do?
Sisha would try to look around and find the closest inn that would have stables and an ability to stay overnight that have room, because we're going to need lodgings. Most of the shops will be closed at this point.
So you were looking for an inn outside of Novigrad or within the walls?
Within the walls, I believe.
Okay. So you make your way...
If I'm correct, on the far eastern side of town, there is an inn that has a stable.
Perhaps. But you're going to be coming from the southern
Mm-hmm.
entrance. However, before you get to the inn, when you cross the gates, the heavy portcullis that is still open, guards and peasants look at you, side glance the group, the heavily armed mercenaries that are pouring into town. Nobody says anything about Shayna's armor. There is, however, an Nilfgaardian embassy in Novigrad, so it's not an uncommon sight to see the colors of Nilfgaard. Though a group of this size might be a little special. No, their attention are actually slowly focused on Sisha and Ovos. You can hear people grumble under their breath as they look away from the two witchers. Some actually hurry to go catch a guard and whisper something in their ears. Nobody stops you, but as you walk the streets of Novigrad in search of an inn, you can't help but notice that you're being followed by more and more guards. None of them look scared or about to pounce or anything. They keep their distance, like they're trying to be sneaky, but they're not. And they follow the group until you find yourself at an inn.
As we walk, I'm gonna motion to my men to protectively walk around the rest of the group. Just because I don't want a random rock thrown without somebody in the way. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. In fairness, I can't speak for Ovos, so I believe it would be similar. Sisha will not let herself be surrounded by Nilfgaardians.
well, they're actually like, and I don't think this is has come up before. They're actually not Nilfgaardians. There's a lot of like.
No, that's not. But that's not the point. They're led by a Nilfgaardian. She's not going to let herself be surrounded by soldiers.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
they-
Sorry.
she wouldn't let herself. No, I'm just saying she wouldn't. She would look around and see what you're trying to do, and she would urge Duck forward a little bit more to get out of the ring that is closing.
Would that mean that you're at the head of the ring or at the back of it?
I would assume that most likely Shayna has been riding at the head of it. So at this
Yeah.
point, I would say that the Witchers would probably both be bringing up the rear of the vanguard. So it would really just be reining in the horse and letting the people close in front,
Okay.
and then starting again.
So you would be closer to the guards
Mm-hmm.
than to the. Okay. And just out of curiosity, is Ven staying within the circle?
Yes.
Okay. Can Sisha make me an shit? Is it awareness or perception again?
I don't know. I got kicked out of Roll20 again, so it's awareness.
It's awareness. Yeah, an awareness check when you come back.
Yeah, it's something about the music. I think just keeps reloading it, so I'm just gonna
Mm.
turn off the music completely. All right, here we go. Awareness check for Sishan. — 15.
You can barely make out the sound of the guards, even with your Witcher senses, with the clopping of your horse, the movement of everyone. But you do catch bits of conversation between them.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asks another guard, "Did you see their medallion? Are they real or are they fake?" And another one says, "Doesn't matter, they're new to town. They're either trouble or they're gonna fix our trouble." Another one says, "Hush. We all know they can hear us. They can read our thoughts. Just think of your mother naked. That'll keep them out."
Sisha will grin slightly to herself and just say, "Well, your mother looks very good naked, apparently."
Unless you look back, you wouldn't see the colors going up on that guard.
And then she would rein duck in and turn to the side and just say, "Was there something about my medallion? You had a question."
There's one guard, like, a little braver than the other, that walks a few paces up to Duck. And just looks at your medallion and seems to study it for a while. Says, "You're not one of them."
Not one of whom?
"Tell me, Witcher, where are you staying tonight? I'll send the captain over."
Sisha would trade glances with Ovos, because I'm going to assume Ovos would have stopped with me.
Probably.
And said, "Well, we've just arrived in town, but we were heading towards the inn on the eastern side." I think it was called the Rosemary and Thyme last time I was here.
Not much of an inn.
It's got a stable.
Sure. We'll send the captain at the Rosemary then.
You can ask for Sisha or Ovos. We'll be there. And she'd kind of pull Duck's head forward a bit and fall back into line.
2 seconds. Cat is trying to eat plastic. Hey!
That's my life every night around 3 a.m.
Okay. The guard slows down to catch up with the others. You can hear them whisper again, and they begin to disperse. Though a few keep following you for protection.
Whose protection is the question?
As you approach the Rosemary and Thyme, you notice there's already a crowd of people in the, there's like a Y intersection in front of it, the Rosemary being built on a street corner. It is a tall 2 or 3 story high building with a stable next to it. It's got like prime real estate in Novigrad. However, there's a group of about 15 individuals.
50 or 15?
15.
Okay.
It's not a big crowd. Angry peasants for the most part. Armed with clubs, rocks. They're waiting for you. They didn't necessarily know you were going that way. But the way the crowd shows up, it almost seems as if someone was following your movement in town and found an intersection where to stop the group. And a mustached individual, bald, brown facial hair, a moth-eaten red shirt, and white pants. He's wearing shoes, one of which has a hole in it. His left big toe pokes out of it. He's armed with a club that he holds in one hand, and he keeps another hand just stroking the studded tip of it. Trying to be menacing, or maybe trying to summon up enough courage to stand up to a group of 30 or so armed individuals, 2 witchers and a mage. He says, "You'll go no further in Novigrad. We don't want your kind here. You've been nothing but trouble."
I pull up on my warhorse and get within like a foot of him, and I look down. You're not a guard.
No. I'm Magnus. This here's my town. Novigrad is my home. And I won't have you come in and cause trouble bringing these troublemakers with you.
You... And she kind of looks down him through the helmet, and she gets off of it. And she like walks up to him and takes a step more than she needs to try to make him back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting right in his face. We've only just arrived. It seems that you and your friends here are the ones trying to start trouble.
Trying to protect our town from the
She kinda
depredations of these creatures.
Do you even know how to use that thing?
Yeah, I smash people with the studded end. You're not scaring me, Nilfgaardian. I've been to war. I've seen you lot fight. We routed you at the Somme. And we routed you at Brenna.
So you as a soldier understand.
I was.
You understand numbers. It's only but this. You and your friends are 15. I've got 20 mercenaries, all hardened. 2 witchers. And someone who's very good with a bow.
And
So,
if you lay a hand on one of the citizens of Novigrad, they're going to be arrested, put in stocks, probably hung, without so much a trial. I know numbers. I know you're vastly overwhelmed right now. Outnumbered. The word I'm looking for was outnumbered.
Sisha looks fairly comfortable on her on Duck. And she's just kind of leaning back in her saddle. She leans around the mercenaries. Shayna,
She looks back.
do any of them have pitchforks?
I look around. Do any of them do?
We'll say one of them does. An
Just
old
one.
rusty pitchfork.
It's not very well kept.
Witchers aren't good against pitchforks. And she kind of laughs to herself. And she gets off her horse and approaches this villager. Sorry about the air conditioning that just turned on. I don't really have a choice. How big is he?
He's actually a fairly well-built individual. He would have probably been one of these soldiers who were given a two-handed sword to fend off cavalry units.
So he's probably a little out of shape at this point.
Yeah, he's got a dad bod now. Like, there's a layer of fat around his muscles, but he could still take on someone in a fight. Like, he's still roughly in shape.
So she steps up. So, who is it you're more scared of? The Nilfgaardians or us?
Not scared
Or
of
is it
you.
the mage? I mean, she's fairly scary.
He looks to Ven.
Are you scared
Elves
of
and
elves?
waves.
You've got an elf and a mage? Or are they both the same?
We have two elves. One of them's a witcher, and one of them's a mage.
Well,
If it helps, I can kill them without laying a hand on them.
They're not really worth it, then.
I suppose.
I'm not scared of you. We already have one of yours in jail. It's only a question
Really?
before we cleanse Novigrad of all the others. If the guards are too slow to do it, we'll do it ourselves.
You have a witcher in jail.
And the others look very, very proud. And they're like, aye. Yeah, and they point to a, across the street, that would be to your right. There's a board with multiple, like, ads, contracts, or whatever pinned to it. And one of them is a wanted poster. And you see a not very well drawn mugshot of a rather prematurely old individual. The face looks, it is round-ish, big ears, stubble. But the eyes, though they are cat-like, there's a lot of, you have like crow's feet, you have heavy bags under the eyes. And their brow looks broken, like right above the nose, so that the two eyebrows are never on the same level. And the wanted poster says that there's a reward of 500 crowns to whoever can find his associates.
Well then, I believe my associate here would happily help you hunt down those associates for 500 whole crowns. Ovo says yes, because he totally would.
The peasant looks at you.
School.
The peasant, yeah, he would take a contract on a human. But the man, Magnus, looks at Shayna and Sisha in turn.
While he looks, he mentioned he fought in the.
Well, he said he was a soldier, but he did name, and you would know that because of history lessons as a noble, like, he did name battles from 2 different wars.
Okay. Alright. Do I think he's old enough to have gone through them?
Probably not the First Nilfgaardian War.
Okay.
But, I mean, if he was part of the army, he might have, like, this bout of patriotism. You know, we defeated you, we routed you, as in we the North, and not, like, him and his unit or whatever. But,
collectively.
Yeah, collectively. Yeah. But he definitely is old enough to have been part of the last war.
Okay. Alright, if that's the case, I just, like, as he's scanning us, I want to try to use my notoriety.
As a noble?
As the mercenary. As the caged soul.
Oh, that's... Okay, you want to face off a reputation check.
Yeah.
Alright, roll reputation.
Okay. Reputation is under... Shoot, I forget.
It's under background.
Background, yeah.
Number 2.
Okay. Let me see here.
The number to beat is 4.
So... Roll...
Just
okay,
click,
so I gotta
just click on the fumble button, yeah.
That's not good. Oh gosh, what is that? What is that? What do I have to do?
That means you would roll again.
Okay.
And subtract 17 to 12.
So 5.
He has
yeah,
no
so he's
idea
no idea who
are.
I am. Okay, that's fine.
But he, like, you might have fought in a war if you were stationed on one front.
Yeah.
Like, it would be almost a fortunate or unfortunate happenstance if he had fought you, like, across from you on the same field.
Okay.
It
was worth a shot.
Yeah. So you're willing to help, is that what I hear?
Well, I mean, I hear you have 500 crowns.
And before he answers, you hear a loud... Now just what are you doing on the footstep at the... Shit.
It's okay. It's okay, Zoltan. It's okay. Calm down.
On the steps of my inn. Get ye gone, you pieces of shit. You're not paying for anything. You're not drinking. You're not sleeping. And you're not whoring. Now I believe these are guests. You let them in, or I'm gonna have your heads. And the crowd parts to show a very angry dwarf with a well-kept beard and a mohawk. He's wearing a black gambazon, and he's holding a two-handed sword. The sword is like twice his height. And it's resting on his shoulders right now.
However, Master Dwarf, we are paying if you've got rooms. Do you take witchers?
I take witchers. I take elves. I take anyone that pays except for the Scoia'tael.
Right. Well, we've got horses and we've got money.
Hope you got enough for all these people. And he looks at all the mercenaries, then looks at Shayna and says, "Why, I don't have any rooms for all of them. The common room it'll be for the rabble."
So, question, how much would I know it would cost to house all my men for a night?
Let me give you that information right now.
I mean, you're also near one of the gates. If it's not closed yet, they can set camp
Yeah, that's true.
outside.
Outside, but I mean, so Zoltan's not a heartless innkeeper either. He's not gonna make them sleep in the stables or anything. Like, he's gonna try to arrange something. But that would be 3 crowns per mercenary. So if you've got 20, that's 60 crowns for the night.
Good.
And that's only lodging. Stabling is 2 crowns per horse.
Mm-hmm.
And your rooms would be 15 each.
Gotcha.
And food?
So,
Food depends on what you want.
What won't kill us? And keep in mind, I'm saying that as a witcher and I'm immune to most poisons.
Are you insinuating I serve moldy food? Or
No, no.
expired products?
No, dwarf. I simply have drunk Mahakam ale before.
Ha! Yeah, you did.
I'm just gonna say, just to give us your best, and I'll grab from my second in command a large gold pouch with like 200 gold coins. I'm gonna toss it at his feet, and you can hear the clink. Will that work?
Zoltan... Oh, yeah.
Go ahead. Sisha will say, I'll be paying separately from the mercenaries. But, yes.
He says, with this amount of gold, because as a dwarf I can count gold instantly. This is enough to get you a feast for all your men for tonight. Plus bedding, plus stabling for everyone. If the Lady Witcher would like to pay separately, that's her prerogative. But come! The Rosemary time is open to everyone. We don't have any entertainment tonight because my bard is God fuck knows where.
As bards are wont to do.
Come in.
Zoltan always reminds me of the one Terry Project put about dwarves, where they say, well, you're a dwarf, don't you love gold? He goes, don't be silly, of course we don't love gold, we just say that to get it into bed.
So yeah, he would hoist the bag over his other shoulder and go in the inn sideways. You can all make yourselves comfortable. It'll take a few hours before the feast is ready.
I would, or Sisha rather, would get Duck stabled, get the cat situated in the room, and she would like to see if she can figure out where this jail is.
Okay. What would everybody like to do before... I assume that this is before the feast is ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Shinna, she would make sure that all of her men are situated, that they've got their carts and stuff in a secure location, post people nearby just to keep an eye out. And then she would let the rest of the group know that she thinks it might be a good idea to check in on the embassy. Try to figure out what the heck's going on.
Alright, and Ven, what would you like to do? And then we'll go in order.
Ven is going to go up to her room to pretend to like get some rest in, but then teleport to go see the person who trained her in magic.
Back in Dol Blithana.
Yep.
Alright. So we'll begin with Sisha. We'll do the same order. So Sisha, Shayna, and Ven, if you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sisha. how would you go about looking for that jail? Are you just taking a stroll through the streets of Novigrad?
I'm going to ask the dwarf.
Oh.
The dwarf is the first person who has looked at me like a person since I have been here. So I'm going to ask the dwarf.
You're looking for the prison.
The esteemed gentleman outside said that there was a witcher in the prison.
Aye. Piss poor witcher of that if they get caught. I don't know what they were trying to do, but whatever it is, the guards didn't take kindly to them.
They rarely do. Do you know which direction this jail is in?
Temple Quarter.
Oof. Right. Got any spare eternal fire robes laying around here?
I don't like them much myself.
No, I just assumed your bard would probably have made use of them at some point. Right.
Then
well,
you wouldn't want to wear them.
You're probably correct, actually.
Ah.
I'll
I'd be-
do my best.
I'd be careful if I were you. There are rats in Novigrad. Very big rats.
Are we talking literally, or are we being figurative?
Both.
Right. Well, Witcher in custody. Actually, before we continue, Simon,
Uh-huh.
I didn't actually ask him his name yet. But,
Nope. We all know who he is out of game.
I mean, I know who he is, yeah. Before she asks, just because it would determine the reaction, Zoltan's exploits are fairly well known with Dandelion. And Garrett.
Yeah, he's, well, fairly well known. Not as well known. Like, he's not the hero, the centerpiece of all the stories. But if you make an education roll, I'd say
he would have at least been part of the studying of Saskia's rebellion. So.
Yeah, but he didn't play that big a role in it canonically.
No.
Because canonically, it's the
Yeah, I'm thinking more that
thing.
Dandelion songs that would have spread. But
But you can try fine arts or education.
I'm looking for them both. Just give me one moment.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely not fine arts, because Kelly, the opera geek, has a big fat 0 in that. Let's see here. Where's
Education is under intelligence.
Really? Okay, where are you? There you are.
I'd say it's about a DC 12.
This is gonna suck. Oh, not so bad.
Yeah, you've heard of him. You've heard of Zoltan Chive.
And I would know that he hangs out with witchers, so.
Hung out with at least one.
With at least one. With at least one. All right. So. Well, so in that case, then I will. Before I go, you're the first person in a very long time who has not batted an eye at putting a witcher up in their inn. They usually get kicked to the stables.
Aye. I'm on the side that thinks that you should treat others the way you would like to be treated.
Especially when there's gold involved.
Always when there's gold involved.
So she'll kind of laugh and stick her hand out, and she says, "My name is Sisha."
Zoltan Chive. And he clasps your hand in his big, meaty dwarf hand.
What I mean, Sisha is like 6'3", so she's staring down at him.
Yep.
And she says, "Zoltan Chive. That would explain why you think witchers are people." And then she stops. She starts to walk away, and she pauses and turns back, and she goes, "Oh God, is your bard that one that writes the awful songs?"
I have 2 bards. I know which one you're talking about. Haven't seen him.
You're right. I definitely wouldn't have wanted his robes. And she kind of pulls the hood of her. I don't know if you've seen the thing that Triss wears in Witcher 3.
Yeah, it's
The
a like a capelet with
the
a
little
hood.
capelet with a hood that comes up and heads out to find the way up to the temple quarters.
And just looking out on the street from the Rosemary, you would see going up the main thoroughfare. You don't see the exact way to get there, but you do see the temple quarter. It is higher than the rest of Novigrad, built on a hill. You see the roof of the Church of the Silver Flame. You have a general direction of where to go. You also notice that this group of 15 people that were harassing you when you came to the inn are still hanging around. Split in smaller groups, they're talking to each other, but they keep casting glances at the inn from time to time.
There is a side door, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong, and the DM has the right to tell me.
No,
I
there's
can't.
not that I remember.
There isn't. I thought there was one under the
Building's
stairs.
not up to code.
Okay. There's no fire escape here.
Why would there?
Yeah, it's true. So she'll flip up her hood and basically, as she's walking out, cast a very, very small sign to suggest that they don't see her. So that would be Axie. I'm not using it to speak or anything. I'm just casting Axie. Where is Axie? Where is Axie? Magic and spells.
Magic and spells, yeah. However...
Oh, not Axie. What's wrong with me?
Yeah,
is
no,
it
that's... Yes, you want to
Okay.
manipulate the mind of people so that they don't...
Oh, never mind. It was just the way this was worded, where it says stuns an opponent. I was like, okay.
Yeah, in combat it stuns an opponent. Otherwise, you can
That's
use
right.
it to
Mhm.
manipulate and
Manipulate.
persuade people.
Yes.
But if you want them to avoid looking at you, you'd have to cast it on each person
hmm
that you want to stop looking at you.
Do I see a path of least resistance?
Oh, none of them are on the street. Like, they would let you walk if you wanted to. It's just they've scattered around the inn in little groups of 2 or 3.
Okay. So in other words, she would flip up her hood and, just walk out and try to make herself as inconspicuous as possible, which I realize is very difficult when you're carrying swords on your back and are very big.
Yeah, but if you crouch, you stealth. You could try a stealth check.
Crouch, I stealth. Screw you, Simon. Try stealth. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Where are you? Oh, I thought that was an actual stat. It is a skill.
It's a skill. Yeah, under dexterity. Yeah. It's like you will receive the occasional glance, the occasional spit, but not like you're inconspicuous enough that it really is when someone just comes up face to face with you that you get a reaction.
Otherwise,
Otherwise-
I look like a dude that's walking down the street of Novigrad, which is pretty standard.
Well, an armed person, but I mean, you could be a mercenary, you could be a soldier, you could be a bodyguard. It's like the 2 swords, you get the occasional comment of like, the fuck, 2 swords?
And I'm just going to assume, just for the sake of if Gabe pops in halfway through this, I'm going to leave the option open that Ovos came with me or not. So,
Sure, I was going to say Ovos will stay at the inn unless
Okay.
otherwise noted.
I just don't know if he would have, necessarily found it strongly needed.
No, but I feel like Ovos is very food motivated.
Yes.
So I think staying at the inn while the feast is being prepared is peak Ovos.
Peak Ovos. Plus, there's an owl he can try to eat if he tries really hard.
Actually, not this time.
Oh, that's not yet. She's not there. All right. So yeah, I will head up to the temple quarters.
All right.
And I mean, I'd assume it would be fairly easy to find the jail. It's usually a fairly conspicuous.
Well, on your way to the temple quarter, you notice, as you pass, like, under the gate that leads to the bridge that leads to the temple quarter, there are 3 men coming your way. One of whom is clearly of a station above the other 2. Just by the way the person holds themselves, by the way the person walks and is dressed. That man is wearing a breastplate with steel spolders, heavy reinforced gloves and greaves. Not a full plate, but like a partial plate. They're wearing an ostentatious hat, bright red, with 3 gray feathers in it. They're carrying just a simple sword by their side, but they walk with all the authority of someone who's used to being obeyed day in, day out.
And they're coming directly towards me in the street.
They're coming directly towards you in the street, and by the time they're maybe 20 paces away, like enough that you can see their eyes, there's like a look of recognition. And the group of 3, the trio, makes their way towards you directly instead of in your general direction.
I was going to try to back up into the shadows, but that is not an option. Okay.
No, with that stealth, they have seen you. Most people didn't, but the captain of the guard does. He approaches and just raises a hand. And says, "Peace, Witcher. I would like a word."
I assume you were heading to the inn.
Yes. My men said that you could be found there.
Yes, well, unfortunately, some of your more belligerent citizens decided to confront us in the courtyard. We've got rooms, but I decided to investigate myself that you have a witcher in custody.
I see my guards have already blabbed.
Oh no, it was definitely the peasants. In fact, I'm fairly sure the one sounded like he was trying to take credit for it.
The rumors are spreading too fast. I don't like that. Let's not stay in the streets. Come. And he motions to a building. He says, "The barracks are right there. The
Alright.
jails as well."
Okay. And she will go with them.
And as you enter, we're just going to pan over to Shayna for a moment. You wanted to make your way to the Nilfgaardian embassy.
Yes.
How do you do that?
I did want to introduce Breaker to Zoltan, mostly because in his backstory, Zoltan is a huge, like, I guess, hero to Breaker. So I kind of wanted to have that interaction real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
So I go up to Zoltan and I'm like,
Mhm.
"A lovely inn. Thank you for stepping in out there." And at this point, I'm out of like my whole like armor, and I'm in like a dark green gambeson, but I still have my sword on me. So
Not a problem. Don't think you're gonna get a free night for that, though. I take the compliments, but they're not worth shite.
well, no, I was instead wanting to ask if you would be willing to have a card game with a friend of mine.
The sweaty one over there. And you see Breaker's holding, like almost bending his Gwent deck. Just like white knuckling it as he looks straight at Zoltan.
So, well, we do get around and we've heard the songs. And they did mention that you played.
Of course I play. Who doesn't?
Just be nice to him. He's nervous.
I see that. What's your name? Breaker, sir. Breaker. Come. A free ale on the house. And then if you win, well, we'll see, maybe a second one.
Give Breaker a pat on the back, and I decide to go alone to the embassy.
Okay. Sorry. Do you ask around? Do you just navigate the streets until you see like a Nilfgaardian flag?
Oh, all right. I would ask Zoltan if he knew the general direction of where it was.
Oh, aye. North side of town.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be back before the feast.
Got about an hour.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and I briskly start to walk.
You make your way to the north side of town. And find this walled compound with the Nilfgaardian flags flying. It's not a big... I say a compound, but it's more like a... two townhouses stuck together with a small yard. And of course, right in front of that fenced-in area is a Nilfgaardian soldier.
I wave him down as I approach.
He speaks in a broken Northling and says, "What is your business here, citizen?"
And in elder speech, I say, "You don't need to use that tongue with me. But I'm doing well, thank you."
There's a sigh of relief, and the soldier continues in elder speech. "It is your accent. You're from the Empire."
Yes, I'm Lady Sherbagont. I need to speak with the ambassador.
You're in luck. The ambassador is not that busy tonight, though the time for visits is long past. Unless it's an emergency, I cannot allow you in.
Then I'm gonna look at him and say, "It's of great import, and I want to try to use that reputation thing again as a lord to try to
Okay.
do the notoriety thing. So to try to move away from that, try to tell them that I'm not a run of the mill caller. So, so how do I do that? Do I roll the notoriety skill?
Notoriety. Yeah, notoriety.
Okay. So it's 7 plus 5 plus reputation is 15.
Yeah, that would count as your home country because you're dealing with the Nilfgaardian embassy.
Yeah.
He looks at you and says, "If it's an emergency, perhaps you can leave the message with me, and I'll transmit it to Ambassador Ep Goodwill."
How many coins?
He looks back at the townhouse behind him And then he looks at the setting sun and says, "Let's go with 20. You have until the sun sets."
All right. And I hand him that.
He opens the gate and says, "After you, Lady Epigon."
And I head up to where I assume the office is.
Yep, well, as soon as you come in, there's a major domo who asks you where, like, are you here to meet with the ambassador?
Yeah.
And then would direct you to a waiting room where the ambassador will be with you shortly. All according, like, really, the interior of this house reminds you of home. This is all done according to Nilfgaardian protocol. The waiting room looks just like the type of waiting rooms you would have at your home in Nilfgaard.
I'll stand at attention while I wait. So
It takes about maybe 5 minutes for the ambassador to show up. You notice that she is not wearing the full ambassadorial garb. Only part of it. Her sash is still there, but like the doublet that she would wear underneath it is not. She was probably getting ready to, go about her private life tonight instead of her functions. And she stops as soon as she comes in and says, "Huh, you look road weary. Where do you come from?"
from Nilfgaard, but recently me and my men come from Temeria.
"You have crossed the whole kingdom to come to my doorsteps. What is the matter?"
I'm sorry for calling upon you on such a late hour, and you see like kind of the breast kind of leave her, and she goes into this more proper state. Are you aware of what's going on in Temeria?
You mean the debacle with Foltest?
No. Perhaps we should speak privately.
This is as private as you're going to get.
Fair enough. The Emperor has invaded Temeria.
Oh. That is sudden.
It is. Do you know? Correct me if I'm wrong, for I've been long away from court. Aren't there articles of war that need to be inducted for such a thing?
You're a soldier, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I'm a knight.
Minor noble. Used to fight on behalf of the Emperor. I wouldn't expect you to know the ins and out of everything, but know that the Emperor is rarely, if ever, in the wrong. If the Eternal Sun decided to set its gaze on Temeria, then the Emperor is in his divine right to attack Temeria.
Of course, I don't doubt that. I'm rather confused because stories coming out of where we were is that he brought the army in through magic. I was just hoping that you would have some insight.
That would be a first. I mean, it's been known that Nilfgaard has used alchemists and mages in war, but mostly as advisors or last resort, not as a means to move entire armies.
That's why I came to you. I thought if this is such a wide scale, perhaps you knew something. Maybe the Emperor will go for Redania next.
Oh, I mean, it would only be logical for him to not stop his attack and keep going. You know, seize the momentum, as it were.
Of course. The Emperor has long sought these northern lands. It's not the type of war I'm used to, I suppose. I'm used to battlefields, so I do not know where I stand in this future.
The ambassador looks straight to the camera and says, "Hello, Raiders! We're playing Witcher tonight and we're raising money for the Balefon project. If you would like to help the show or donate for a good cause, every donation that we get to the Bale Fund is going to alter the show the same way as if you were giving money to support the show itself. So if you feel generous, if you have any amount that you would wish to give to help the Balefon project and the protests going on, do not hesitate. Also, we're playing Witcher. Yay! Then she looks back at you and says, "That was weird."
That was weird. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Some tea, perhaps?
I feel like I should need donations to the Balefon project.
Well, I mean, it does support
Because
those of...
Nilfgaard is so known for its sense of justice.
No, she looks at you and says, "I think you'll always have a place on the battlefield. There will always be more for the Empire to conquer. After all, we haven't set foot beyond the Blue Mountains yet."
Would like to see them one day. Thank you for your time.
How long
may I
are you
be-
going to be in town?
I do not know. Me and my men were just passing through, trying to find work. But that was before we knew about the new war. We might head back down and give our swords.
Well then. If you remain in town for any amount of time, my door is open to our countrymen.
Of course. And she'll take a step, but she'll hesitate. Madam, I may be a stranger to you, but I have a hypothetical question.
Yes.
If you saw Nilfgaardian soldiers attacking not strongholds, other armies, but peasants and other such, what would you say to that?
Every war has its casualties.
Of course.
The Emperor doesn't think in single lives. The Emperor thinks about the greater good. Sometimes you have to break a few eggs and all that.
Of course. Again, thank you for humoring me. Have a good night.
Good night to you as well.
And
Before you leave the embassy, would you mind rolling,
Oh,
Shayna,
no.
a d26?
oh no. 13.
13. Ooh, that's the Geralt card. The Geralt card. The next attack tonight by any member of the party one-shots whatever it is that it hits.
Damn. pretty good. Once she's out of the embassy, she'll head back to the inn, but she'll stop on the way. She's like, her mind's whirling right now, and she doesn't know what to do. And she'll stop by an alleyway, and she'll look down at her Nilfgaardian clothes and look at the patch that's on her arm of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll get this almost rage-filled look in her eyes and just kind of tear it off and throw it into the street. And head back to the inn.
All right. We'll then pan across the continent to a cabin in a grove. Give me just 2 seconds, Kika. I said Plague, Ithlin, and Saskia were out. And then
Yes.
tonight we have Geralt. It's just since we don't have necessarily the deck anymore, I'm just gonna do this so that our viewers can see what they've done. What have they wrought to this game? So, we are now in a grove. And there is a cabin in said grove. Inside the cabin are a few floating lights, like large-sized fireflies that just float. Inside is an elf. Wise beyond her years. Kika, did you have a description for your mentor?
No.
Okay,
can
so I will go
like.
ahead. She has wild black hair with a few streaks of white. This elf has seen many, many years already. See, she's dressed in nothing but a simple dress, dark green, with a few added layer around her waist, like the remains of so many other dresses that she's worn thin over the years. There's the stereotypical cauldron in the hut, with a table full of alchemy ingredients, herbs, flowers, plants, animal parts, monster parts. There is an empty cage still hung on the ceiling of the hut. There's a bit of straw in it, but no one inhabit the cage at the moment. Underneath the cage is a bed, simple bed made of wool, straw mattress with a few blankets. The ever-present smell of garlic emanates from this place as Ven appears a few paces away from the door. A voice inside the hut says, "It is not nice to come unannounced, even after all these years."
Well, I figured it was ruder to not come at all, so...
Come in.
Then slowly pushes the door open and steps inside. She looks kind of like awkward. She hasn't been here in a long time, and she just feels like she doesn't quite fit in here anymore, you know? And it's very much like going back home after being away for like years feeling, and she doesn't really know how to process that.
The if it helps, the hut hasn't changed one bit.
I think that makes it worse. For Ven, at least.
Your mentor and friend. What was her name again?
I don't know. I don't think I picked one.
If you don't, that's okay. I have a few here, and I can get one.
Check background. Yeah, I don't think we picked one. Nah.
Cool. We will go with Vara.
Cool.
Vara says, teleportation. You've come a long way.
Well, yes, I did have to teleport.
I kind of recognize the magic signature.
I was trying to do wordplay. I'm not very good at it yet.
What brings you here?
Oh, a few things. I encountered an interesting fellow who is constantly pursued by a strange magic mist. I was able to procure a vial, and I thought I should bring it your way, as you know, be more skilled in uncovering its secrets than myself alone. Additionally, I have a whistle that needs repairing.
And here I thought you just came to ask me how I was and sit down for tea or something. Children, always wanting something or another. Put them on the table, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, am I to act as though I'm your daughter again?
You are younger than I am.
Okay, Mom.
Do you put the whistle and the vial on? Okay. She is more interested in the vial than the whistle. Definitely.
Not surprised.
She picks up the vial and looks at it from every angle that she can. It says, that seems like residual magic. I would need to run a few tests. It would take a few days, but that's very interesting. It's like a spell held up in time.
I have encountered these mists before.
Let me guess. A place of power.
Yes.
Was it defaced? Was it ruined in any way? Has any humans set foot on it?
A sword needed to be returned to it? She says, not answering the question very purposefully.
The type of magic that you see here. And she looks at you and says, you're not here on behalf of Aretusa or one of the colleges, are you? You haven't enrolled in any of this human nonsense.
Ugh, no. Can you imagine them accepting me into one of those places.
Now, humans tend to not remember we taught them magic. They seem to think that they know everything now.
Yes, we.
Well, the elves.
Yes.
And she puts the vial back on the table.
I accepted none of the blame for humans running about with magic.
This is, at first glance, an amalgamation of multiple magic. Basically undiluted chaos. Like the type of things that an overwhelmed mage would die of. We have a game!
I'm really glad kids can't die in that system.
You're not talking about The Witcher, but kids can die in this game.
They die,
either.
definitely. Yes, they can.
Oh yeah, in The Witcher that's different. Kids are basically squirrels, right? Don't eat kids.
No, don't. She then looks at the whistle. And says that's of old elven make. I am not an artificer. I'm not one to play with artifacts of my people. I mean, I could try my hand at fixing it, but for once, I will be completely transparent with you, Ven. I might do more damage to it if I were to try anything.
Are you saying you've been keeping things from me?
You always have to keep a certain mystery between master and apprentice. After all, if I was an open book, you would quickly read me and know things that are perhaps above your capacity right now.
Well, you did teach me to summon the dead, and I have learned that that is typically frowned upon.
In civilized lands, and the rules that some people have made about magic. But what are rules if not meant to be broken, challenged?
I was under the impression that rules were implemented to control the actions of others.
But what if the people that made the rules were in the wrong?
I feel like you're being unnecessarily vague.
Like I said, you have to keep an air of mystery.
I would like it noted that I would prefer that. I would prefer it if you didn't. At least around me. Besides, have I not earned your trust by now? At least a little bit.
You can have a little trust as a treat. Now that whistle, however, I have heard of rumors, really, but a skilled elven artisan One that knows and remembers the ancient ways of our people. He might be able to help. Plus, I think he owes me.
You think he owes you?
Well, if he remembers.
And
I
if he
did teach
doesn't-
him. Huh?
And if he doesn't remember, is there anything I should say or do to jog his memory?
No, but you could pay him for his time.
Always money.
He
Money,
works in
money,
a
money,
human
money,
city.
Of course.
By the rules of humans.
And what's his name? What city is he in?
His name is Abihar. Abihar Hattori. Let me put it in chat. Because it's a bunch of letters. He works out of a port city called Novigrad.
Makes really good pie.
Wow, kitten, shut up.
Novigrad. That is where we were.
If you find him, he might be able to help. Oh yeah, Avar.
Avar.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So I didn't think the B was pronounced. He used to apprentice under me for a while.
Oh, well. We can bond over complaining about your soup for a while.
Misery breeds company.
Yes. Speaking of, how have you been?
Lonely. I am working on something new.
And that is?
Oh! Potions.
What sorts of potions? Like, then, like, immediately perks up and probably just, like, gets up and sort of, like, shuffles closer.
Actually, not just any type of potions. Actually, I should rephrase. Do you know what the longevity of a potion is? And we're not talking about the Witcher brews and all that stuff. This is just, this. Whoa. We lost a Gabe.
Oh no.
And now the cameras are crooked.
Just like my morals.
Let me just do a thing. Because we're going to go to break soon. But just so we can burp, have our faces on the overlay for a bit. She says, most alchemical items tend to not last very long against the ravages of time. I'm trying to work on a method to keep their potency intact for a long time. Picture that if you could. You make something here in Dol Blathanna. You sell them to a smelly, hairy jarl in Skellige across the continent. Whatever it is you make, it gets there without a hitch, and it doesn't lose any of its potency. You could theoretically apply that to any sort of concoction, any sort of product. Now think about it. If the elves were able to make something that remains fresh, keep it secret, we would become, I hate to say it, an undeniable tool for human trade. It would ensure that they cannot get rid of us nor our secrets. We just need to protect it afterwards, and perhaps it'll give us a bit more legitimacy. Or it'll spark a war and eliminate the rest of the elven race. I'm working on a gamble.
Well, wars are sparking up all over the place now. Nilfgaard is invading.
Here?
Eventually, I'm sure. They have taken to using portals to move large amounts of troops across continents.
That's disconcerting. There are
Very.
way too many mages in the world.
You just had to train another one.
Well then, make sure I don't come to regret it.
You know I can't make promises, but I will do my best.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I'm delightful. I'm sure everything will work out fine. At least for me.
And I think it's on that we're gonna go to break. When we come back, by the way, we're gonna have the, because I saw another donation. Thank you so much for donation to Bail Fun. So we have 2 donations that we need to work through. And we'll do that when we come back from break. We'll let you know how this is going to impact the game. And, yeah. Get up, stretch, hydrate, eat something, and we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, hopefully with Gabe. Ciao, everyone.
But once all I've anxious wide awake, fearing all manner of zigzags and ways. For your dolly Polly dreams have flown, don't you dare let her tremble alone. For the witcher, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He'll come, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe.
We still have the other backup video up. There we go. We are back. Everyone's in their right little squares on the overlay. And I... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that another donation? I would love it if that was the case.
Oh, I subscribed.
You what?
I subscribed. I won a card.
To my... Oh, yeah, no, I meant,
Oh, you hit the goal.
Yeah, no, we hit the goal. The first goal that we had. Which I think is
Hell
both a
yeah.
good thing and, but why didn't the... Like, donations didn't pop up right, I think. Or it did. Oh my god. Okay, so that's $41. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Let me move
For trying to kill us.
the goal. Let me move. How do I? Oof. Where's my thing?
Yeah, you have to go to your dashboard
Yeah.
and edit it.
I can't edit it. All I have in the dashboard is latest donation. Oh, it's in the overview. Okay, got it. Let's go for 300. I'm sure we can beat 300.
I know this because the other day, Tanya's chat was having fun continuously donating just enough so that my number always ended in 69. That's apparently.
That works. So, all right, Gabe, you subscribe? Which means you get a card, which means you're gonna have to roll a d26.
Oh, I was excited, but then I realized there's a lot of bad stuff too.
No, it's like a third bad stuff.
Oh, thanks. Is it a D26?
Yeah, d26.
Oh, that seems not great. That's a 23.
23 Ragnarok. Tonight, and tonight only, one of you can take control of a scene. Become a little GM for a while.
I accept this.
And then, thank you to all of your donations. We're gonna do a thing real quick before we go back into the game. I would like all my players to roll a d6. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 d6s.
Yeah, that's about right for my friggin' rolls.
Double fives. Is that good?
It's added to all of your ingredients.
I got 2.
Oh,
So that's a 23.
the
That's a
23 was the
2.
1D. Oh,
No. I mean, sorry. That I'm counting the total. 1, 5, What the heck? Okay, wait. Too many things at once. Thank you so much, The Wild Hunt, for donating $50.
Oh, screw you guys. Go home.
Thank you so much, Plumboko, for the sub. I am like trying to get everything. Sorry for hanging on to the show like that. Oh, I need one of my players to roll another d6. Any one of you. I was just missing one.
Got it.
6.
6.
Good. That's 6 vitriol for you. The ingredients have been updated. You now have ingredients of everything, so you probably don't need this to forage anymore for any of this.
Nice.
So
So who wants to get mutated?
all right. Let's see. With all the donations that we had, we're still owed 2 cards for tonight. And I think I'm going to keep cards for next week, just to make things interesting. Oh no, wait, somebody else donated for the Wild Hunt. Wait, all my math is wrong. Alright, here's what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gabe, you rolled once. And Kayla, you rolled once. So, Kika and Kelly, can you roll a d26? We'll get rid of those right away.
This isn't concerning at all.
14 for Kika. And 6. Ooh, we've never got 6 before. I'm not going to put 6 on the overlay because it activates automatically. You get a free 10 stack of one ingredient of your choice. Kelly, you drew the Alchemist.
Well, let me see what I need most of for my recipes then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And Kika, you roll the Healing Waters. One player can regain the 5 lost max HP from the plague. Who do you choose?
Let's give it to Ovos.
Alright. Ovos, you no longer suffer from the plague card.
I have the plague card. Subtract my HP right now. Go ahead and give me Soul, because that's what I have the least of on the overlay, and it looks like that's what I need the most of.
Good, you now have 11 soul. And with all the donations stacked on the Wild Hunt, we have 1, 2, 3, 4,
No
5,
soul,
6,
but
7,
that's
8, 9. I need one more draw of a card for tonight, and then we're gonna have 8 cards in reserve for next week.
D26?
D20, so...
Oh, there you go, Kayla.
Ooh. Kayla, you drew
I don't know what that does.
You drew an interesting card.
No, that's an Ithland card.
No, 26 is a new card I added.
Oh, it's not.
It's the Roach card.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
What is that?
Roach, the horse.
I know what the horse is, but I mean,
What does the
roach?
card do? You're just gonna have to see.
That's
So,
concerning.
we're gonna pan the camera back into the Rosemary and Thyme. We see in the background Zoltan Shive, the dwarf owner of the inn, is playing Gwent with Breaker, the dwarf mercenary from Chaina's company. In the kitchen, in the back, the feast for tonight is being prepared. Most of the other mercs have either vacated the inn and gone about the shop and just sightsee the town. Others are staying, drinking, swapping stories, playing games. And then we have Ovos, Ovos, what are you doing this fine evening before supper is ready?
Drinking. He is stressed, and it's probably a habit that he picked up from other humans or elves in mercenary companies that he worked with. For a while, he didn't really understand the concept of it, but if there is no danger, he's probably become a bit like, I don't care. Ugh. And I don't even think he really likes it.
Zoltan would have some good stuff for ya if you wanted the harder stuff.
I'll take what you got. I welcome it.
He would hold a glass, not a mug, of a clear liquid. Alkahest. Basically 90% alcohol.
Oh, you're gonna get wasted.
Okay.
This is to be sipped and nursed.
Like a child?
Like a lover.
I don't have those. Do you let your love? Never mind. I don't. Cheers. He probably takes way bigger of a sip than he should.
You know what? Just for fun.
That's fun. Let's do it.
Can you roll physique?
Yes, I can. Things that won't go well.
I mean, on a scale
That's a
from...
15.
Well, you're... Like, it hits very fast. Faster than you thought. But it doesn't knock you out either. It brings you straight to the, I don't know how Ovos would react to that, but like for an out-of-game perspective, you'd be like party drunk.
Your tongue is numb and you think everyone's pretty.
Except you don't have empathy, so tough luck.
This is. Zoltan,
Hi.
how do you find a lover?
Well, it depends. You're talking about a fine dwarven lass, or one of your humans, and he looks at your ears, fine elven lasses, or lads. I'm not judging.
Which would be steadiest?
Sturdy. Oh, dwarves have a lower center of gravity. But, you're not gonna get close to any one of us.
Why?
Well, as much as I like witchers, I don't sleep with my customers. And, there's not a whole lot of dwarves here in Novigrad.
Do you know any dwarven lasses, as you said?
I know of only one. She's at the Passiflora. The brothel.
I hope she likes beasts.
You hope she likes what?
Beasts. Beasts, Zoltan. Like rawr.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to picture you dressed as a beast.
Zoltan. I've got plenty of weapons, and not all of them are knives.
Yeah, Gabe, you might be a little low on your microphone.
I've got plenty of weapons, and not all of them are knives.
Well, you keep your weird Witcher kinks to yourself.
It's only weird if you. I don't know. I saw something about these in a book once. I was quoting it. I don't know if this works.
Might have been.
I figured I indulge in what you people do once. See what it's like.
Are you gonna be able to walk to the Passiflora?
Probably, but I'm more worried if she'll be able to walk after. And it's like the most awkward nudge.
Yeah. Main thoroughfare. 3rd Street on your right.
And can I take this with me, or should I?
Oh, yeah, no, that's the go. Please bring back the glass.
Jeez.
Please don't do anything nasty with the glass.
Jeez. I guess we'll walk out.
And going out of the Rosemary and
dumb.
Thyme,
He's so dumb.
you make your way to the Passiflora. It is a gaudy establishment. 3 floors of drapes, varnished wood, cushions, and a lot of naked people.
I should have asked for her name. Meh. Oh well. I'm looking for the dwarven woman.
There's a few of the workers stop, look at you up and down, and smile a little. You're looking for Ilbra.
Yes. Where is she?
Do you have any business with her?
Well, that's why I'm here. I hope to have some business with her.
Oh, that business.
Yes, sex.
And the Madame of the Brothel walks up to you and says, well, if you want sex, as you put it, stranger, you're gonna need to pay for it first.
Where?
Also, you reek of alcohol. Did you just bathe in a bottle or something?
Yes. I wanted it to be so that my skin would be delicious. How much?
150 crowns.
I give her 175.
She takes it. Says Hilbra will be with you shortly.
Probably just like leans against the wall. I still don't understand the appeal of this, but guess I'll find out.
You hear the telltale ka-ching of chainmail coming down.
So I mean, this is something that I
stairs.
never expected to have you roleplay, and I realize it's my mistake because I made this happen, and I'm very excited to see how this goes. Continue.
If I'm just going to put a disclaimer.
Simon seduced somebody by covering himself in cold cuts on
That's true.
satin sheets.
That's true.
Am I the only person that gets tasteful sex scenes? Because
Eh.
if so, I'm honored.
Ovos is just.
I get
stupid.
none, and I'm fine with that.
Ovos, you see a muscular dwarven woman. She is wearing a chainmail bikini. She has her brown hair done up in 2 buns at the top. Her face is covered in freckles and she has a small scar. It just, like, it adds to her, to the image that she projects of this strong dwarven warrior princess. And she approaches you very matter-of-factly. Looks you up and down. Up and down. Lingers a bit on your pants. And then on your weapons. And she says, I don't really do tall folk.
I don't really do folk.
Is this... She looks around. Is this your first time?
Yes.
Oh.
I asked for someone sturdy. You were recommended.
Then you weren't informed of the first-timer discount.
No.
What's your preference?
I don't understand.
Look around you. What's your preference? You get 2 for the price of 1. You get me, and you get an extra.
I don't need an extra. You seem like you can work as well as 2 people. God, I hate myself.
I was going to say something, but... Oof, that's a bad pun. Then come with me upstairs.
And the last thing I want to say is, as they walk in the room, Ovos casts Quen on himself. I don't know. He said sturdy. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He just wants to be prepared if he's going to get...
She would rock your world if you had emotions. But even for a witcher, like, I'll let it up to you. But she's very knowledgeable. And,
It's like someone who doesn't really like wine, but can appreciate the taste.
yeah. And she has a lot of stamina.
Wait, what's her number? Because she might have more than I do. Give me a number.
Sure. You mean,
A stamina number.
oh, the stamina number. Yeah. She would have 45.
Oh my God, we have the same stamina. This is my wife. All right, that's good. That's all I needed. This is everything that I've ever wanted.
And now I have to make sure I note Hilbra as the dwarven working lady.
She's probably going to save my life one day.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's a connection now. So I'm saving her for later.
Quinn is for protection. I saw that, Kayla.
Thankfully for you, witchers are immune to all of those
Diseases.
things.
Yep.
Lick my elbow, you weird dog.
You saw nothing.
That's what she said.
That's what,
to
yeah, I was
Phobos.
gonna say.
I mean, to be fair, that is the scene that got cut from Blazing Saddles. Anyway.
We're gonna pan across the street. Right across the street from the brothel lies the barracks. Because the brothel is at the entrance of the temple quarter. Near the barracks, the church, and the palace. Well, what passes for a palace in Novigrad anyway. Inside are sitting around a table. 2 guards. The guard captain. And Sisha. So if the rumors are circulating faster than we thought, you probably are already in the know about our little problem.
What I know is that I was told you had a Witcher in custody.
We
And
do.
that he has associates.
He does.
Mm.
We don't know how many. It's been a plague. And he would motion to one of the guards. Just a quick motion of the wrist, and the guard gets up and leaves. And comes back with a small leather satchel, from which he procures a silver medallion of a rat.
Does my medallion react to it at all? In the presence of magic.
Yeah, there's something I need to check in the book. 2 seconds. It might not. But I'm thinking it won't react. I'm gonna ask the question out of game. It might be easier. Just that's not something you would know in game just yet. Is Demetrium magic?
Dimeridium?
Dimeridium, yeah.
Dimeridium is a complete nullifier to magic. It is the absence completely, and it will completely dampen the magic. So I don't think that a Witcher medallion would react to Dimeridium. If a Witcher touched it, we would know what it was, because we make bombs out of it. And we would probably recognize the metal.
Actually, you would feel, just because you're in the presence of it, you would feel your vigor go slightly down.
Yeah.
It is not made of Dimeridium. But there is Dimeridium somewhere nearby.
Near it. Okay, I'm just double checking to see if I have Dimeridium bombs on my thing. No, I don't. Okay. Buddy, stop it. So Sisha kind of makes the Doug sound of that I can't do, that Doug does. And says, that's not one of our schools.
That was found on him.
I'm certain it was, but it's not one of our schools. Where is he?
Currently held in a cell downstairs. We tried to get him to talk, but we could barely get anything out of him. He's surprisingly resistant to interrogation.
Did you put Dimeridium on him?
He hasn't exhibited any magical capabilities. We have Dimeridium here in the city.
Sisha will reach her hand out to the closest wall and just blow the shelves off of it. I don't look like I exhibit any magical abilities, do I?
Oh no, what I mean is, if he knows how to use whatever it is you did to our wall, and there's a guard that gets up and places the shelves back as the captain's talking, he never used them. It's been in there for over a week.
Does he still have one of these on?
No, that was the only one.
Take me there.
He'll take you downstairs. There's 3 cells. It's a small holding. Like, those are the barracks. They're not the city cells, like the dungeon, the Joel. But, chained to a wall. Sitting down, back against the wall, is this individual you saw in the poster. Round face, big bags under the eyes, uneven brow, stubble that has now grown into a bit more of a beard.
What color is their hair?
Black, greasy and black. And they, from what you can see, they're short. Probably they're sitting, but they're probably 5'3".
Now is my medallion reacting?
It does. It vibrates just a little.
Did you search him completely?
Stripped him. Then gave him some modesty.
I don't blame you. How close are the chains? How tight are the chains to the wall? How much movement's he got?
About a foot.
So Sisha will go just out of the range.
Inside
Okay.
the cell?
Inside the cell, but just out of his range. And she'll kind of like squat down in front of him and pull the hood off her head. Where did you study?
He looks up at you and you see the cat-like eyes. Though they are marred with red veins. Studied here in Novigrad. What do you want?
I wasn't aware they'd opened a Witcher school in Novigrad.
It's brand new. You wouldn't know about it. It's not for everyone.
You're special.
I am.
What's your name, Special Witcher?
Boos.
How long have you been a Witcher, Bruce? Well, she'll just idly like be picking at her fingers.
About 6 months.
How old are you, Bruce?
Huh. 15. He looks 50.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would know it's tradition then. I have to pay my respects to the leader of your school. I'm in his territory.
They also want to know where the Rat King is.
This is none of their business.
And it's none of yours either.
Oh, Bruce. On that you are very, very wrong. Where is your school located?
Everywhere. And nowhere.
Oh, yes. I can see you come from the school of Hot Topic. Anyway, sorry. Can I get a sense off of just any kind of perception of the actual, like, what vitality he's got left? Because he's looking pretty rough.
Do you have? I was gonna say first aid.
I do. And that would be under skills and abilities. First aid would be under probably craft. Yeah, I do. 14.
He's dying.
Mhm. I have very bad news for you.
What?
You're going to be dead
Uh,
within the week.
I
Probably.
know.
It's not going to be nice either. I saw what was left of one of you in another town.
You see him perk up. What do you mean in another town? We're only in.
Really? Did they tell you you were special? Did they tell you you were the only ones and that they had chosen you because you would make their perfect army? Is that what they told you? That's what they must have told the man from Skellige, too.
I have no idea who you're talking of.
Hmm. Sisha will pitch her voice with Axie at this point. Bruce, I'm your friend. And you're a fellow Witcher. You know that I have to pay respects to your leader. Where are they?
Make a spellcasting check for me, please.
Okay.
And that'll be opposed by their resist magic.
See what they get, because I've got luck I've not spent in 3 sessions.
They've got 11.
So I don't need it.
We're friends. You're right. And I think you should follow the rats.
Hmm? Can you tell me their names so I can greet them properly?
They're fucking vermin. They don't have names.
I just have one more question for you.
Yeah.
How many potions did they give you?
I don't know. I was out cold.
Do you remember where?
We were under the broken moon.
Bruce? Can you lean forward just a little bit for me?
He tries, but like he can lean like a little bit.
And Sisha's going to, move forward and put her hand on his shoulder, her left hand on his shoulder. I know you have no comprehension of what I'm saying right now. But I'm going to kill whoever did this to you. And I'm also not going to let you suffer anymore. And she will with her right hand, just right on the side, through the side of his neck.
Swing.
Actually, not through the side of his neck. I'm sorry, because I don't want there to be blood spraying everywhere. It'll be through the ribs and the heart of blood.
Immediately, the guard captain yells out, "What are you doing?"
Saving you from having to watch someone rot alive. But now I know where to go.
That
Thank you.
was our only lead.
No, friend, I'm your only lead.
Then you'd better provide results, Witcher.
Wasn't the fee 500 crowns?
Aye.
Half first.
What did he tell you?
You don't need to know that as long as the job gets done. I will tell you, they're not witchers.
Hmm.
They're just sad children.
I can give 200 crowns up front.
Agreed. What was your name again, guard captain?
Edred of Cremora.
My name is Sishan. Can you tell me where I can find the booksellers in the morning? The rarest booksellers.
I am not one for books, but I do know that the Nilfgaardian ambassador has quite a library.
Good. Well, let's get the 200 crowns, and I'll make sure to get you your results. After all, we wouldn't want any of the priests catching word of this, would we?
No. And we... Ooh.
I'm probably supposed to have a higher rep level at this point. I haven't raised it.
No. That's...
No, it's fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is your rep level should be 1?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. The one person that should have more reputation in the group is Shayna, because that's her class
So
ability.
That's the class thing, yeah.
He re-advises himself and says, yeah. You're gonna have to work against the witch hunters.
It's okay. They're not as fireproof as they think they are. And then she'll just walk out of the guard station.
Alright, and we're gonna pan with that. Back to Shayna. Was there anything you wanted to do after the ambassador's house?
Yes. Once I get to the end, I call in Quiver, Breaker, all the main hunches of the mercenary camp. Pull them into my room, offer them drinks, and say, "We need to talk."
You notice that and for some reason the names are gone. I use the same document for all my notes, and I don't get why. It's not Quiver, it's Pummel. You notice that they've noticed that you don't have your patch anymore.
I know that you have been with me through thick and thin. I appreciate it. And all the men down there have fought and bled and almost died. And we've lost a number of our folks. I know that most of you aren't even from Nilfgaard. You're from the north. What we've seen the past few days is not what I imagined war would be like. And I can't ask you to go along with this. And so I'm proposing that we disband the mercenary group.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know, but I can't risk you all being forced into service like this. I can't ask you to go into towns like we saw and kill and screaming children and husbands and wives. I can't ask you to do that. I won't do it.
They look uneasy at each other. And Breaker speaks first. He says, Captain, I wasn't following you just because you were a Nilfgaardian. You brought us fame, wealth, adventure. I don't know what the rest of the men are gonna say. Do we have to make a decision right now? Right this moment? Can you give us a day?
I can give you a day. Just know that I'm not a Nilfgaardian knight anymore. And so take that into consideration.
They nod. And in silence, all 6 of them down their drink.
Now there's a feast downstairs. Enjoy it.
But before you can leave your room,
Mm-hmm.
can you make an awareness check?
Oh God. Okay. 23.
The window of your room is slowly frosting over. And we're gonna pan to Ven. Still halfway across the continent. Had the conversation about Avar. And about Vara's attempts at helping the elven cause, which is a bit out of character for her, but not too out of character for someone who was steeped in research and experimentation. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
Well, there are a couple of things I wouldn't mind some additional input on. It seems as though some fools are going about attempting to create new witches, and it is quite troubling, their methodology and their experiments. I saw a person turned into a bear by such attempts. Luckily, I dispatched with them quite quickly, but would not want to face up against multiple of those.
Witchers are formidable opponents. I've only heard tales of them. I've never met one myself.
It seems I have been blessed with an overabundance of them as of late.
Well, if the stories are true, then they must keep your life very entertaining.
You'd think. Perhaps they just don't supply the type of entertainment that I enjoy.
Wait and see. From what I've read, the life on the road of a witcher is fraught with perils and discovery.
But do they ever become better conversationalists?
Apparently, they're stripped of all emotions.
Where do they put them?
The emotions?
Yes. Can we put the emotions back in the witches somehow? Because that would be very interesting.
That would be some sort of... It would have to be, from what I... They are mutants. I mean... That's very interesting. I don't think it was ever attempted. You would have to ask a very old witcher if such a thing was ever attempted before. Someone who's been around. Maybe the emotions come back over the years. Maybe it's just that... Welcome, Raiders! Maybe it's just that they all die before the emotions can come back. Maybe the people they take to become witchers are already stripped of emotions. And what are emotions if not barriers to efficiency?
Well, emotions give motivation, and motivation gives purpose and drive, and those things tend to get you to be productive.
So is coin.
Coin is stupid.
It's what makes the world go round.
Then the world is stupid. At least your world is.
Coins are shiny.
Yes, but I don't need hundreds of them.
But if you could, would you?
No. The shimmer of sentimentality is far more appealing to me.
Do you?
Hmm?
Do you feel this? And I'm gonna ask you to make a magic training check as you notice the whistle and the vial on the table begin to rumble.
Hell yeah. 22.
It is getting considerably colder.
Oh no, is this the end of the world that one fool told us about?
I don't know. As you say that, you can even see your breath in the air. And as we'll pan out to Ovos, flying above your mentor's hut, Ven, is a long line of heavily armored black riders riding the clouds like they were solid ground. Ovos.
He's probably like nonchalantly walking out. Finally,
I'd like to make a point that the barracks were right next to the Passiflora, and I really want to run into him right now. If that's okay by Gabe.
That's fine. Walking out, like buttoning up clothing bag.
Yeah, so you would hear from behind to your right. Ovos?
Yes, hello, Sisha.
Were you in the... You went to... How's your night?
I wanted to try sex.
I'm very happy for you. I hope you had a good time.
It was an easier workout than I'm used to. I see why people enjoy it biologically. It's very sweaty.
I'm going to stop you. We have a job, and I will toss him 100 of the crowns that I just got.
Does it involve talking?
It involves hunting down fake witchers
Say
and
no
killing their leader.
Yep, I'm in, easy. I just didn't want to talk. Talking is...
I mean, to be fair, I didn't want to listen.
Well, I didn't mean to you, but now you...
I mean, it's just about the sex. It was weird.
Oh, I mean, it was weird.
No, I mean, I don't want to hear about it. It's okay. Yes.
Oh.
And I would pass on the information that I got,
Have you
including... I don't want to talk about it, Ovos. And she would emphasize that the kid said he was 15, but looked like he was about 15. Yes, so they are screwing up.
This is not good.
He's 15. He said he'd been a witcher for 6 months.
No,
No.
I don't like that.
Well, he's not a problem anymore. I don't think the captain was very happy, but...
I don't care.
I never thought you would. He said to follow the rats.
Like rats, as in people who have...
I think follow the actual rats.
This is a strange job, Sisha.
I asked how to find the leader, the person who did it. He said to follow the rats.
Okay.
Oh, come now. You've been in sewers before. Don't whine.
Yes, but they smell disgusting.
It's okay. Then you can come take a bath and visit your friend again.
What friend? Oh, you mean the dwarf?
Yes, I was making a joke. I was trying to be friendly.
Dwarves are very steady.
Was I friendly, Ovos?
Yes, I think so. Probably.
Okay.
Are we friends? Well, we do not hate each other. We work together. We talk to each other.
I have not tried to kill you.
A lot of people don't try to kill me though because they fear me. Not saying you fear me, but it doesn't make sense.
I don't fear you. Shut up, Phobos. And then I think we would try to go follow rats.
But before you do, as you walk on the bridge of Novigrad back into the city, trying to make it in time for the feast, a figure bars your way. All around said figure, the ground has been frozen. In front of you stands a massive skeleton.
Skeleton or armor?
Armor
I was going
designed
to
as a
say.
skeleton.
Well,
You're an asshole. Anyway, no, that was Kelly telling him that. Anyway.
And as the massive head of its flail hits the ground and breaks the cobblestones, we're gonna stop tonight's episode there.
Which means, guess what we get to do, Gabe?
fight the freaking wild.
We get to fight him.
Great. I mean,
Let's
actually, that
use
is
that
great.
Geralt card.
Shit, why did you have to remind?
Isha would like to look at the wild hunt guy standing in front of her and say, "Hey, Ovos, do you want to see something really cool?"
Yes.
But you already killed that Witcher, though.
No, that doesn't count. That wasn't in
Oh.
combat.
Fair.
No, yeah.
So, Sisha says, always wanted to do this. And she will pull out her silver sword and say, "Are you watching, Ovo?"
Yes.
And while he's got his flail stuck in the ground, because Kelly remembers the battle animations and it sticks there for a couple of seconds, she will walk right up to him with the silver sword, put her hand on his shoulder, and just one-shot him straight through the armor.
Oh, fuck
Because
the guy.
Simon drew the Geralt card. And I get to one-shot something.
Needed to remind you before we lost it.
That is a face of a DM dying inside.
You
You
know what?
should have
I'm gonna-
remembered,
Well-
Simon.
I
I'm gonna call
don't
that
have
roleplay
to.
card.
What?
I'm gonna call the DM card since it only works for this session, and I want it to fall down to the ground, crumbling in ash, with a face that's almost like anguished as it like the helmet comes off.
Well, he can't technically die, but you just banished him. So we
Yeah, that's
banished
fine. I just want him to be banished in a way that looked like he was dying.
Oh yeah, definitely. And as he
100%.
dies, I'm just going to add, "We will find you."
Okay. And she'll kick his head as he's dying.
Well, at least I don't have to stat him. But
That's true.
but I might
Well,
have
it depends.
to.
Was that who I think it was, or was that?
No, it's
all-
just a random.
Oh, it was a random one. Okay. All right.
No, but the funny thing is, I have to stat for Ven and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So the people that could probably help you the most with the wild hunt are just like buggering. Like we just one shot our guy, and we're like, "You want to go get chicken legs? Yeah.
Oh god, this is
I can
so
just
bad.
teleport.
Turkey legs. Ooh,
Yeah, you could.
I
Shayna's
was
in
talking about my spectral guy to fight. I wasn't talking about the fucking wild hunt.
That is actually true. Time of gifts. The Raiders did just see Indiana Jones shoot the scimitar wielding villain.
I was supposed to be intimidating. Now we're just gonna go around the table and tell us where you are and plug everything if you would like. So let's begin with Kayla.
Hey guys, I'm Kayla RPG. As you can see, I play I play Shenna, and you can find me on Twitter.com at Koros RPG. I'm a writer. I'm a creative system manager. And you can also find me on twitch.tv at Koros RPG. I have a June schedule, which we are going to try to start this week, maybe next week. But come check that out when you can. And I'm currently working on a superhero comic for the first time of my own about a trans girl who becomes a specter and has to figure that out. And her name is Gossamer. And the first bit of art for that should be out tomorrow. So check out my feed then.
Cool. Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I am the opera geek, who's pretty much going to just be a geek for a while because opera's not going to be on the table for a bit. Thanks, coronavirus. You suck. But yes, that is me. Tomorrow night, you will find me on my channel with Her Royal Highness Devon Rue, playing more Elder Scrolls, where I really annoy her a lot, which is fine by me, honestly. I mean, if you let me roll at a character named Elizabeth Cattery, that's what you're going to expect. I am still finishing my fundraiser for the Bale Project. I am just shy of my goal of 3,000. I've got 2820, I think. So that bar will be up tomorrow for tomorrow night's Elder Scrolls stream. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else, which is now making me anxious to remember if I am forgetting something. But I don't think so. You can follow me on the Twitters in case I did forget something, and I will announce it there. Thanks.
Kika.
Hello, I am Kika. I am a game designer, role player, and diversity representation panel coordinator. Sorry, I am like dying energy-wise. So like my brain's all over the place. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO, and you can find my game, my 2-player 1-page RPG that is completely diceless. That's about communication and is an expression of my feelings, like having trouble communicating with people because of neurodiversity and PTSD. And you can find that on itch at kika.itch.io/a-lonely-haunt. I'm linking that in chat. And you can also find me here on Thursday again for Sisterhood of the Magical Blade, I believe was the name. Right? Where we are doing a Magical Girl RPG where all of our characters use swords, and it's great. And also on Friday at Jen Vaughn's channel not on Jen Vaughn's channel, run by Jen Vaughn on the Onyx Paths channel, doing Legend Lore, which is a 5th edition setting module about people from our world crossing into a magical world. And it's pretty nifty, and it's going to be fun. So yeah, that's it.
And Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe James Games. I am a cosplayer, voice actor, and game designer. You can find me here, obviously. You can find me on Wednesdays on the Encounter Roleplay channel. I think that's really it right now. I'm not doing as much. Currently working on my Goblin Dating Sim stuff, and just generally spending more time doing some of my own writing and designing. And it's been a refreshing distraction with all of the chaos in the world.
And I want to thank all of you players for coming to play tonight. I know that last week we took a break because things are happening in the world. I thank you for taking the time to come and play tonight because things are still happening, and there's change, there's good change, but there's also a lot of bad stuff that's happening, and I'm hoping that these little streams can distract you and entertain you. And I also want to thank everyone who donated to the Bale Fund Project, not just today, but so far with Team Cypher. We've raised, oh god, I don't have the goal. I should have the goal up. It's like 280 something thousand.
No. It's close to 320.
Oh my god, it's 321,000. I did not check the goal today. Apparently, I have to keep an eye out every hour because, wow, y'all are super generous. Thank you so much. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. You can find me again here on Thursday for Sisterhood of the Magical Blade as we play our second episode. And if you've missed the first, the VOD is on YouTube. Cyberpunk is coming back on Friday. The group is up for a road trip. And as we kick off Season 2, which we're going to be using, by the way, we're going to play with at least the full character generation rules, so the characters that we're going to play in the game from now on are going to be using the actual unpublished rules from Cyberpunk Red. And then you can find me on Saturday being Nathaniel the Pirate, hence the facial hair, part of the Guild of High-End Escorts, the Painted Guild, and also Swashbuckler Extraordinaire in Black Flag, our Rapscallion campaign at 1 p.m. on Saturday. I will also be on a Sunday show starting on June 21st. It's a Pathfinder adventure using Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's going to be on Mixer. Not on this channel. It's on Capricorn Cross's channel. I've retweeted it. I'll tweet more about it as I get more information. But yeah, so would love to see you there if it's something that interests you. On that note, let's see if we can raid some friends tonight. I know it's very late, but I am pretty sure we have some friends that we know that are still... Blarg, my list is all offline except for D&D. Alright, well, you know what? We're gonna keep the raid for next time. It's almost 11:30. So, have a good evening, everyone. Have a good night and stay safe. Bye-bye.